Hello there, my Fist of Furies rabbi. How are you today?
Angry.
And that leads us to yet another in our series of the seven deadly sins, wrath. What is it about wrath? It can't be denied that experiencing wrath is a full emotion. When you get really mad, there's no room for anything else in your mind. Blind fury or blind rage are the terms that people use. It's not the same if you're really hungry with gluttony or you want money. Yeah, you can be greedy, you can be gluttonous, but you still can feel other things. But when you're really mad, you are only mad and there's no room for anything else. Hence, all the unfortunate things that happen when we lose our temper. What do we do about that?
It's important to keep in mind that what make the seven sins deadly is excessive. There's nothing wrong. There's no sin in wanting to have a good income or bettering your life. There's no sin in wanting something good to eat. So we don't want to make the mistake of thinking that the sin is is what's being said. It's excessive. It's when it becomes to an extreme and it's harmful to the self and possibly to other people. And that's really important here when we talk about wrath. Unfortunately, wrath is one that would hurt other people. I may pick up a gun or a hammer or a knife. I may pick up an object and do damage or take a life. Not having a practice or strategy, we are going to get angry. That's a given, Joe.
Is there something that we can use to remember that, hey, you're too angry, you need to calm down?
Well, one of the things we're always taught is step back and count to 10 or count to 7. Each of us needs to acknowledge we're going to get angry. Now, I need to find a strategy to handle my anger, whether it's with a rabbi, a priest, a minister, a chaplain, with a therapist, or with a friend, with a phone call. It's extremely important for each of us to have a way to handle our anger before we commit the sin of wrath. There's no one size fits all. There's no one solution, but there is a solution. We should all have a strategy for dealing with anger because we're going to get angry. Perhaps it's punching a pillow. Perhaps it's throwing some pillows. Perhaps it's going outside and screaming. Perhaps it's going outside and stomping around. So initially, we want a strategy to deal with this before we do something harmful, before we commit the sin. Okay? We want to bleed off the energy. Next, we're still angry. Do we have a friend to talk to? Do we want to call our clergy? Do we want to call our therapist? So there's an A and a B to the process. To something to deal with the initial this, and then something to deal with. Then the third is maybe we can turn the anger into something positive. We can start a campaign. We can start petitions. We can support a political candidate. We can oppose a political candidate. We can join an organization that is for or against something that's generating my anger. So there we have a three-pronged approach, Joe. First, we really need to deal with this before we do something harmful. Then we need someone to talk to identify what's generating the anger, where it's coming from. And then third, we can find an organization or an individual that will support a policy that helps me deal with, I'm angry, there's no stop sign. I'm angry because of the speed limit. I'm angry because of road rage. I'm angry because people have too much access to knives and hammers and guns and weapons to hurt others. Well, there are organizations out there. So there we have it, Joe, an A, B, and a C, so that we don't commit the sin of wrath.
Well, thank you, Rabbi, as always. We'll take those words to heart, hopefully, and the next time I lose my temper, I will try and be prepared.
And when all else fails, Joe, just take up golf. Because if you want a sport that generates a lot of anger, just watch golfers.